Hey guys, it's Andrea from the blog Pine and Prospect Home, and today I thought I would share a vintage haul with you guys. I haven't done this in quite some time, and while a lot of these items I've had for a couple of weeks, I've sprinkled them throughout videos here and there. I haven't actually shown you all of the items, and this is a really good grouping of things that I think I'm always looking for. So these are the type of things that I'm always on the hunt for whenever I go into thrift shops or antique stores. So I thought it would be good to put a video together and show you guys some of my neat new finds. Some of them are thrift store finds. Some of them are actually gifts that I got for Christmas. And then some of them were passed down to me from my grandfather, who recently passed away a few months ago. Let me start off today with some of my thrift store finds. So in a recent video, I want to say back in the fall, I had talked about some copper little bowls that I had found, and a lot of you commented on that video and said that I didn't actually show the bowls in the video, or maybe it was just a quick flash of them and you wanted to see a close-up. So I thought I would show them to you today. They are just this neat little set of 4 copper bowls or dishes, whatever you want to call them. I think I paid like $1.99 for all 4 of them, and I just thought that they were kind of pretty. They need to be cleaned up probably. I haven't done that yet, but they have these cute little brass handles, and I just thought that they would be neat just stacked up for display on a shelf, or even you could use them in a table setting. So I thought those were really great for $2. I didn't want to leave them there. So that's my first find that I wanted to share with you. The next thing that I recently found is really great. So I'm always on the hunt whenever I go to thrift stores. Never pass up the section that's like, I don't know how to describe it. There's always a section in a thrift store that has like hardware and door handles and just like random odds and ends. But I always like to look through that section because you never know what you're gonna find. I have found some really cool things in those sections of the thrift store. And this past visit, I actually found this really neat raw wood peg rack, and it's really beautiful. I'm thinking what I'm gonna do with it. It was only $1.99 at Goodwill. And I think what I'm going to do with it is just leave it this really pretty raw wood color, and then I'm going to maybe screw it into the end of my kitchen cabinets, and I'll have additional racks, or additional pegs, I'm sorry, for hanging towels, dish towels. So I think that'll look really pretty there, and I'm excited to hang this up. So that's my second thrift store find. Now, the next few finds that I want to share with you are actually Christmas gifts, and both of them are cutting boards, which is really sweet. So this first one actually came from my mom. It's right behind me. It is so beautiful. It's very primitive, very rustic, and she was worried that it would be a little bit too primitive for my taste, but I think it's beautiful. You can see how pretty the color is. And actually, she said it's a reproduction. It's not actually an antique, but I think it looks really authentic, the way that it's carved and sort of beat up, and the coloring is all different. So I thought that was really cool and sweet of my mom to get that for me for Christmas. And then my husband got me one as well. And you guys know that I've been wanting a very large antique cutting board, breadboard, whatever you want to call them. And they are expensive at antique stores. They really are. And every time my husband and I go antiquing, I look at the same ones, I pick them up, and he sees me every time and smiles, and I always put it back. And I say, no, I could never spend this much on a cutting board. It just seems very silly, and I always put it back. Well, he ended up getting me one this year for Christmas. I can't believe he did. It is beautiful, and he said he actually talked them down. So here it is. It's massive, and I'm pretty sure like you can see how big it is. I mean, it's huge. So it's this really beautiful color. You can see that the cutting board was actually put back together at one point there on the back. And it's just really cool. I love the handle. I love the details, the fact that you can see all the little holes and cracks, and even the nails where they attach the pieces back together. It is beautiful. It was so sweet of him. I want to say it's from France or Germany, one or the other. This particular antique dealer that I visit a lot, he is such a sweet older gentleman, and a lot of his things are from Germany, and they'll say on the tag because he would go back and forth and visit when he was younger, and he has so many treasures. I've shared some of his booth in previous videos before. Anyways, that's my next find that I thought I would share with you, and then the rest of these are treasures that I was able to take from my grandfather's house. Of course, you guys have seen most of them in videos. This really neat copper pot, which is absolutely gorgeous with the brass handle and lid. I had it sitting next to my fireplace at Christmas time, and I thought it was really pretty there. One of these days I would love to have either a vintage stove or a vintage inspired stove, one or the other, and I think this would be so beautiful sitting on a stove. So I wanted to share that with you. And then of course I did share this beautiful blue and white piece. I think this was used to store salt, I want to say. Someone told me. I love it. I have it sitting in my kitchen. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. The bottom of this one says, I don't know if I can, Dresden. The words are too worn off for me to be able to see. Either way, it's beautiful, and it was my grandfather's, and I love it. And then another thing that was very special to me, which I'm so excited to have gotten, were my grandpa's dishes. I vividly remember my grandma cooking with these dishes. On the bottom they just say, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Nico ironstone, and a lot of them are chipped up like this one is, but it's kind of an odd set. I think a lot of the dishes my grandmother probably broke over the years. There's one bowl that we found in his cupboards. Lots of saucers, no teacups, not one, and a lot of dinner plates. So they were sort of all mismatched, but I just thought, I can't just leave these. I want to take these. And so every time I pull them out, they remind me of my grandma and grandpa. So I took those. My grandpa also had a lot of Crocs. And so I took this one, and then there's another one about the same size that I took. You just never know what you can use Crocs for. I have a couple on my kitchen counters for like wooden spoons. They're great for holding utensils. They look beautiful with a plant in them, even if just you're looking for something outside to plant something in. Obviously you would need to drill a hole on the bottom for drainage. I don't know if I'll do that, but I've seen people use them outdoors as well. And then another thing that I found is this beautiful, I believe it's ironstone. Well, it says Dresden white granite. It doesn't actually say ironstone. So I guess I should have looked that up first and did some research before I recorded this video, but I love this beautiful white mixing bowl. I just think they look so pretty on your kitchen counter stacked up. Actually, at Christmas time, I put a Christmas tree and just a faux little Charlie Brown Christmas tree, and this one with some decorative grass or whatever at the base, and it was really pretty in my kitchen for Christmas. So the last thing that I thought I would share with you, which again, I've pointed them out before, but my grandfather had quite a collection of antique duck decoys. I just think these are so cool, and I know I'm probably just weird, but I love them. You can see one of them actually behind me over there, but there's something about them, the beautiful sort of worn paint on them, and just the shape, and I don't know what it is, but I'm very drawn to them. I always have been. In fact, you guys know that I had one for many years on my built-in shelves, and he had a huge collection. I didn't even take all of them. I personally would love to display them all together somehow, and I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that. I know that they would be just as pretty dispersed throughout the house, but for me, I really feel like items, when they are placed all together, like a collection of items, I feel like they make a bigger statement. And I don't know, I mean, maybe that's just my own personal thoughts. Anyways, that is everything. I think I showed you guys all of my new little finds. I definitely need to do some purging this spring. I do every year. I'll be honest, right now, I don't have the motivation to do that. I just took down Christmas, and I feel like I am longing for spring already. But every season is beautiful, and the snow can be beautiful, and I need to embrace it because we're gonna have this snow for a few more months. Winter is the time for home, and I am going to try to make my home as cozy and warm as possible while we are mostly indoors. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you are new here, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.